only cowards are able to tolerate. If you don't believe you're good enough, it's highly likely that you have an inferiority complex. If you experience persistent emotions of inferiority when nature instills emotions of inferiority in you as a result of nature viewing your position in the hierarchy as low, because nature considers you to be of lower quality, your body has developed this defense mechanism as a means of protecting you from harm. You'd be killed if you touched an alpha's woman or if you were just a jerk to people in general, but it's also an external mechanism that ensures that if you're weak, your genes will be passed down to your children by instilling feelings of insecurity, inferiority, and submissiveness. Your mentality is so emotionally charged because you know that if you have certain traits, you will have difficulty attracting and keeping the attention of women. These are characteristics that are inherently associated with women. You will be encouraged to adopt more traditionally feminine traits in this way, which is how the inferiority complex manifests its negative effects. You do know who likes inferior, weak, unhappy guys, and that is ladies who have given birth after an alpha male has given a woman a sausage ride. It is abundantly clear that he will not remain in one place and look after his children. Rather, he will continue to suckle other women. This is the reason why a woman's attraction to soy feminine guys who will stick around and look after another man's children could very well change throughout her pregnancy, and after she has given birth in the wall. You can help the productivity of the tribe, but you won't be able to receive the benefits of what you sell, and you won't be happy if your genes aren't passed on. Your life will be more difficult, but you will at least be able to live in such a way that people will think you are a chef even though you aren't one. That's an insult. This means that you will be responsible for things, but you won't have the power or the benefits that come along with it. You are the beta bucks, according to the expression alpha fox and beta bucks. If we're talking about social status, you're pretty much on the same level as homosexuals and cockles. On the other hand, because the system wants the purse entity of men to be beta at any given time, you will have a greater chance of reproducing than they will. Who better to provide for the healthcare needs of other women than your own children? The following are some indications that you have an inferiority complex, possibly to the point where you don't acknowledge yourself as a human being. This is analogous to the way that narcissists believe the opposite to be true, depending on how severe their condition is, constantly seeking reinforcement from other people who are submissive. You have a persistent desire to demonstrate your worth, a strong sense of duty and attraction. However, in intercourse, you prefer that your partner be dominant. A mother's feelings of inadequacy can show themselves in a variety of different ways. For instance, a beautiful girl may be afraid of being boring and uninteresting because of her insecurity, and as a result, she may try to compensate in other ways, such as by studying for an ugly female who recognizes that she is ugly. She is also aware that she is unable to change the fact that she is ugly. As a consequence of this, she may look for monetary compensation in addition to other benefits, such as continuing her education. The majority of men, however, place a greater emphasis on the sensual nature of inferiority. A relationship can begin at any time for a beautiful girl or even an ugly girl. However, a male, particularly one who struggles with feelings of inferiority, is unable to do so while still in high school. Therefore, even if he achieves academic success, he will not be able to compensate for this. He'll try to make up for it by getting attention from women, but he'll just end up acting like a complete simp as a result, which will have an effect on his schoolwork. Because of this, despite the fact that on average female students perform better in school than male students consistently rank highest. Accordingly, 20% of men are always at the top of any given hierarchy, and these men are sometimes referred to as the hierarchy's alphas. The alphas are followed by females and other males. Also, as a direct consequence of this, even the most renowned and prosperous chefs are men. Even the most talented knitter is most likely a male with muscular build. Somewhere a man is greater than a woman and a child is greater than a child. People who suffer from inferiority complexes are a hybrid of a child and a woman. They are not quite men because, like children, they do not have validation, and like women, they are insecure and subservient. Due to the fact that these men have low self-esteem, they have a strong desire to receive compliments, validation, and praise, and TRP serves as a secure haven in their minds in which they can fulfill this desire. Although it is true that may be right, it is not true that TRP is. If you have any of these concerns, you shouldn't do it. The following are some of the factors that may contribute to inferiority complexes: bullying as well as harsh parents, absent parents, getting messed up over by lady, narcissistic sociopathic parents. A major setback has occurred. The majority of the time it is the parents who are grandiose narcissists will criticize their children in order to boost their own self-esteem, and because they are narcissists, they will have extremely high standards for their children to live up to. It's almost as if they believe they are the best in the world, and when their children don't give fantastic results, the narcissist begins to doubt their own superiority, which causes them to lash out at the children out of frustration. It's almost as if they think they are the best in the world. Confusion often leads to emotions of rage, and narcissists and sociopaths do not love their children. Because of this, the child may start to believe that they are unworthy of love, which can lead to an inferiority complex. It's almost as if there had been a car accident. While it may seem like a minor incident, it has far-reaching consequences. It's possible that you'll have to go through this for the rest of your life, and that's assuming that you'll even be around to see it through. Most people I come across who suffer from an inferiority complex are afflicted with this condition due to a combination of the first two factors. People aren't as self-aware or conscious as they give the impression to be, despite the fact that their bodies can only rarely see what has happened to them. One of the ways that the brain deals with traumatic experiences is by denying that the experience even occurred and by coping in this manner. It was just a minor point, but it was irrelevant because it impeded their ability to find a solution. From what I've seen, the horrible truth is that there is no way out. You can't completely erase this from your mind because it has left an indelible mark on the psyche. The majority of traumatic experiences are analogous to the way in which feelings of inadequacy contributed to the development of all of your worldviews. When you get rid of the inferiority complex, a lot of other stuff has to come out at the same time. It can't stay bottled up. You might have grown up thinking that your parents didn't love you because you were a bad kid, but once you figured out that it was actually their fault and not yours, you might experience a great deal of emotional turmoil. This is just one illustration, but you get the picture. What would have happened if this had occurred to each and every one of your beliefs? Everything would have changed, and you might have even developed imposter syndrome as a result of how your feelings, thoughts, and recollections don't always match up with one another. Although this is purely hypothetical, keep in mind that there are some things that you just have to learn to live with, and other things that you simply can't recover from. You can, at best, fight to the point where feelings of inferiority diminish to the point where it feels like you don't have them anymore, but those feelings will resurface on a bad day when you relapse, even if you fought to the point where they don't exist anymore. Some people have told me that treatment helped them become functioning, but therapeutic methodology is really helpful in situations like this one. They were extremely unusual cases in which the individuals concerned also made an effort to prevent this from having a negative impact on their lives. But what I'm referring to are those 1 in 1,000 cases, which means that if you still want to go to therapy, you should make sure that it's with a male and masculine therapist. If you look at their pictures and see that they are doing things like lifting weights, you can get a good idea of whether or not they are masculine. Weightlifting is a sign of a good therapist. It's not the best way to go about things, but male therapists will often offer their services to former members of the armed forces and former law enforcement officers. This may help you realize that feelings of inferiority are simply feelings. Therefore, one solution is to lessen the impact that your feelings have on you. This is a comprehensive plan of action. You don't get rid of the feeling of being inferior, but you can choose to disconnect your emotions from the source of those feelings. As a result, the feelings you do have will have much less of an effect on you. So you have chosen to acknowledge their presence before making any attempts to control them. Emotional accessibility is a quality associated with women, whereas men are known for their capacity for logic. The primary sex hormone in men is testosterone. As a result, the less testosterone a person has, the more feminine they will be, and, as a result of this, the more emotional they will be. Being more emotional means a person will experience more feelings of inferiority. Even after lifting weights, the majority of men do not have adequate testosterone levels. As a result, testosterone replacement therapy may be an option at that stage. Even though being below 700 seemed like a number that didn't make me feel any better, the number 1000 is still a good place to begin. You can get control of your feelings by using your rational mind by meditation. Stress and other negative emotions can amplify feelings of inadequacy, making it all the more important to stay on track, reduce stress, and cultivate tranquility. The practice of meditation is a wonderful strategy. There is substantial evidence suggesting that meditation has positive effects. Simply set an alarm, find a quiet place to sit, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. Your thoughts should be able to move uninhibitedly and not be confined in any way. As a result, you shouldn't try to force yourself to concentrate on your breathing. Instead, you should let ideas come and go, and then bring your attention back to your breath. Ensuring that the task is finished correctly is your responsibility. This helps in the process of locating one's own inner affirmation. When I first started, I would do 2 sessions of 15 minutes each, once in the morning and once in the evening. Every day, I now have a 2-hour block. When I wake up during the sunrise, I sit down to meditate. This gives me the impression that no one else is aware of the problem. If a person has an inferiority complex and is aware of why and what it is, then that person can try to reverse it by removing the symptoms one by one as they go through the symptoms. This is how you go about reversing an inferiority complex. Determine what this is causing you to do, and then do the exact opposite of what it is causing you to do. All it does is confirm what your subconscious already believes, and it reinforces the fact that you are a loser. Is someone cutting in front of you in the queue? Someone with a complex about their own lack of ability might think that they should just watch him do it instead of trying it themselves. Instead, he could take a knife and repeatedly stab him in the back while saying, "I'm not inferior to you, you foolish one." If you want to settle the matter in a calm manner, you can also tell them to leave the line and go to the back. Of course, this is a joke, but in all seriousness, this is why you do what you do and go about your business. Think about whether or not doing this will make you feel like you're not good enough and whether or not this is something that only we do. If the answer is yes, then you shouldn't do it, because if you don't think you can complete it, you might end up forcing yourself to do things that a person with less capability would not be able to do. You should be chill when approaching a woman, you should go out and establish yourself, and you should, when necessary, be a jerk. In addition, I am of the opinion that turning off social media and content that is vulgar would be of great benefit.